Hey, welcome everybody to Recovery Two Friends One Path. My name is Jessica and I'm an addict.
My name's Kathy. I'm an alcoholic.
And y'all joined us for step 10.
Yeah.
We're almost there. We're
Almost.
about done. We got a few things that we always cover right when we get started, so I'm going to let Kathy do the honors.
Hey, I'm
Still
still
Kathy.
Kathy, still
Mhm.
alcoholic. This is solely our
Ours.
opinion. We are not affiliated with any group and or program. Our sole purpose is to help others fighting addiction and alcoholism. This is 100% raw and real. We do cuss, we do tell war stories, we do cry, we do laugh, but we do recover. Have some 1-800 numbers at the end for us to give out, to offer some help.
Because there is always help available for anyone, for any need in this arena. You want to tell us what our step 10 is today?
Well, let's see. See if I can see. All right. Salt through prayer and meditation to... Oh, hold on. Sorry. Continue to take personal inventory, and when we were wrong, promptly admitted it.
So that basically means that we are going to continually take an inventory of oneself daily or spot check or every night. And we're going to talk about the things that we may or may not have done wrong throughout that day. And if there is something we did wrong, if an amends is possible or acceptable, then we should do so after we speak to our sponsor, probably.
Yeah. I think I done a little spot check today on our group text.
Really?
Yeah.
How do you feel about it?
I feel good.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. You know what? That was actually good, did you? I saw that.
I saw that. I thought about it after I put it, I can't go. I just got to work late. And then I was like, shit. Well, I'm
Tell them what you said. Tell them what you did.
We were doing our Taco Tuesday text about what time we're going. And
there's like 10 of us in this group text that we go out, be sober ladies every Tuesday.
Yeah, and I call it the sober chicks at the round table. But anyway, I was like, hey guys, can't make it. I got to work late. And it was just a lame excuse because I was sitting there looking for an excuse to not go, only because I just wanted to sit back and be on the heating pad. I had a long weekend. I'd worked 3 big concerts in a row, and I'm just tired. So I was like,
reasonably so.
Yes, and
so she chimes back in with the, you know what? I'm not gonna lie.
Well, no, I was trying to look for a reason, and then Garrett come upstairs and he said, "Hey, I need the Nissan," and I was like, well, "There's my reason," because he took my ride because I haven't had a chance to go pick up my car from the shop. I could have
picked you up. All you had to do was ask.
I hadn't thought. I didn't need to
you
go.
You didn't want to go.
So, may take you up on it like Thursday.
Touche.
Yeah.
So she chimes back in with the, you know what, I lied. Let's move forward. I just honestly don't feel like going. And I snickered when I read that. And that is part of spot checking and making an amends and doing the right thing. Even something as simple as that. Because the smallest things can become the biggest things in our world. We make mountains out of molehills.
Yeah.
So, you just got to remember, there is no offense that is too small in our world. Let's see. Self-searching and being aware of your inventory should become a regular habit in your life. So not just on Mondays, not just on Thursdays, not just on Sundays. Every day, every moment, every hour. So you need to be aware of your motives, what you're doing, and why you're doing them. And some people think, oh my gosh, that's just so much to do. That's a lot. Well, it is, but it's not when it becomes a habit. And it just becomes natural. It just flows through you, and you say, oops, there's that. I need to fix that. Just like Kathy did, went right back and fixed it. And it just becomes second nature.
It does. As long as you you keep that spot checker. And, first I just try to be honest and right off the rip. But I'll just, sometimes it's just easier to make another excuse instead of, just the truth. So the spot checking's like, damn it. I try to do it just as soon as it happens.
I really like how you said that it was an excuse, but you noticed it was a lie.
Mm-hmm.
Rather than just an excuse, because some people can say an excuse isn't a lie, it's just an excuse. But no, that is totally not correct. Your excuse was a lie, and you stood up for that, and you said, you know what, I screwed up, I lied, this is the truth. So when you do those things every day, it becomes less and less too, because then you don't have to make a jerk of yourself and come back and say, oops. All right. You have to be able to admit and accept what you find during these regular self-inventories and be able to correct them. So as soon as, just like she did, as soon as she noticed it, she put a correction in there, and action is the thing. So, like, let's say that I went and told my boss that I didn't take the stapler off their desk and they found it somewhere else, and immediately I should stop and be like, look, okay, I took it out there, I left it, I'm sorry. And that is catching yourself in spot checking yourself. Or even if you catch it later, going home in your night inventory and you say, you know what, I shouldn't have done that. That shouldn't have been something that I did. And that's when you make the amends later. And that's how those amends and those inventories work. You can become emotionally hungover from not dealing with negativity that you bring upon yourself. An emotional hangover is an excess of negative things that you just let pile up on yourself.
Yes.
And that is just as bad as being a dry drunk, because basically what you're doing is still having dry emotions and dry actions and not owning up to the things that you're supposed to own up to is a new way of life. I haven't seen you not do that. I think that you're doing good in that aspect. I know that I have a hard time removing negativity from my life, period. I can admit that. I know that. A lot of the negativity that I deal with is because I allow others' negativity to affect my life. I'm aware that how we react to other people and situations is the key. And I'm learning slowly how to deal with that versus, because you don't have to go negative against negative. It doesn't help. It doesn't help at all. And I'm having to learn how to deal with certain people differently. Not everybody's going to be the same. Not everybody's going to have the same type of response, but I am responsible for my responses.
Right. And a lot of times you just have to set those boundaries.
Boundaries are big.
Yes. And I have found that me setting my boundaries is not being as noticeable to certain people.
Explain that.
Well, it's really hard to explain. I don't want them to know my life, period.
So they don't know anymore your business. They just know you exist, but they don't know what's going on under the sheets. They just know. Okay.
Those people, if I don't want them to know about me, I purposely just cut.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I cut.
I mean, it's smart. It's smart.
I will block somebody in a minute if I think they're gonna hinder my recovery.
Boom.
Period.
Boom.
Like, that's an open, shut, and that there's no way other than, hey, I need you as...
Hey, forgive me, I'm getting tired.
I need you as somebody who can help me in my recovery. Yes, I will respond to that. Other than that, chic.
Right. That's actually pretty smart. If you see or know someone in your life that causes these problems and they seem to be the common denominator,
Mm-hmm.
it's probably best to set up boundaries. And you're right. I mean, I wouldn't go like necessarily blocking, but if that is your part, that's the way it works for you, then please do. But that helps a lot with your inventory. You don't have to worry about, dodging somebody, lying to somebody, manipulating. And if you don't want somebody to know your business, you don't have to. That's awesome. I like that.
I do. If for 1 minute.
Cut them off, huh?
Yeah. Because my gut tells me you don't want to go back there. So just go ahead and cut that off.
If it's not good for your recovery, I would do it too.
No, definitely.
After all things have been removed in step 4, we are able to tackle this without any negativity. So hopefully by step 10, a lot of your resentment, self-resentment, and self-shame and guilt and remorse and resentment towards other people have dissipated. You've prayed for them, you've prayed for release from it, you've moved forward. So now is the time to when you have, you're making amends now, because that was the step before. And it's a consistent thing. You don't do step 10 and then finish step 10 and move to step 11. You continue it on, and that runs into it. I would say even in your nightly inventory, if you write down if you make an amends. Tell them about that everything AA thing.
Yes.
Your inventory doesn't have to be you laying in bed and thinking about it. You
just because got to do it because
you can make
a new iPhone. I am not.
She's not iPhone savvy yet, but you can write it down and keep up with it.
Let me show you.
Where's it at? I can't remember.
It's right here.
Okay. So, add entry. They have a spot on everything AA for a gratitude list and a inventory at night. You want to tell them about it?
Let's see. Was I resentful, selfish, dishonest, or afraid? All right. Do I owe an apology? Did I keep something to myself which should be discussed with another person at once? Was I kind, and loving towards all?
Stop that crap.
Stop. What could I have done better? All right, you got 6 and 7?
Sure, and they have a spot where you can actually type things in. I was thinking of myself most of the time, or was I thinking of what I could do for others, or what I could pack into the stream of life? Write down anything else that should be included in the day's inventory, and you can change the date, like if you forgot to do one yesterday. This is
and you can share it with your sponsor.
Yes, it's really
even
cool
got
tool.
Share option.
So if you are not, again, one of us, and you're a normie that practices these steps, this is still good for you. The Everything AA app. And it's got everything, including our favorite Joe and Charlie.
Yes.
So I highly recommend checking this app out. It is free.
Yes.
You can do a donation, which is always good.
I do the
You can do a donation.
I do that.
So there are 2 types of inventories, and like I said, that's the spot check and the nightly inventory. And it could be, the spot check can be taken throughout the whole day, just like Kathy did. Now, oops, I did something wrong. Oops, I did something wrong. Oops, I lied. Oops, I was mean to somebody. And you have a day's end review with a checks and balance sheet. So that's kind of what we just looked at.
Mm-hmm.
And you also, at some point, should sit down with your sponsor and you talk about your progress and how this step is going. You do a review for like annually or semi-annually about your house cleaning. Have you been productive doing this? How much of this have you done? Is this working in your life? How much are you having to do for your lies? How many lies have you been telling? That's another way to find out other shortcomings you need to work on. And all of these steps all work hand in hand. Big time hand in hand.
It really does.
Mm-hmm. We must acquire a habit of self-appraisal.
What do you mean, Jessica?
Well, self-appraisal is when you sit down and look at yourself and you say, self, What am I worth? No, I'm kidding. You, again, look and see if you're lying, if you've been dishonest, if you're doing these things right, if you're working your steps to the best of your ability. Are you being willing to work these steps? Even if you're not doing good at it, are you willing to do it? There's big things to do with that. It becomes a healthy practice and a healthy habit. It becomes second nature and flows just like this when you start doing it. If you do regular examination, it's good for you. Self-examination is good for you. They say to know yourself means to know God. They say that. Now, I found that to be true. It just becomes a part of your everyday living, and it becomes just who you are. These steps ingrain themselves into you, and it's just like second nature now to do all of these things that we do. I tell the story all the time about the guy who had gone and yelled at the lady in the grocery store and got halfway to a meeting and was like, damn, had to turn around and go back and make it amends. And that's what this program is about. It is fixing the things that we didn't do properly. We are emotionally disabled when we come here.
Insane too.
Oh, absolutely. And they call it well, I have emotional deformity. And my thinker was broke, and I did things exactly the wrong way. And what these steps do is put me back on straight. Is sometimes my spiritual axiom is off balance. The problem lies within me. If my spiritual axiom is like this, it's because I have allowed it to be that way, not because of anything external. Because the world could be coming down around me as long as my spiritual axiom stays balanced. Nothing can really affect me. I'm the one that allows things to affect me. Nobody else. If Kathy decides to stop everything right now and say, Jessica, go home, I don't want to do this with you anymore, I can take it and be like, well, what the fuck, Kathy? And want to get in an argument, want to fight. Or I can say, well, that's just your loss. And I can get up, pick up my purse and go right around my day. And guess what? Never think about it again. These are ways of dealing with things. And your response also shows where you are spiritually.
Mm-hmm.
Your response will show people where you are spiritually. Justifiable anger is a dangerous thing. What is justifiable anger, Kathy?
God. Well, let's see. Just examples?
Sure. Tell them what it is.
Oh. Finding a cheating spouse.
Okay, my husband cheated on me.
And wanting to do evil things.
Because it's okay because he cheated, right?
Yeah.
So, that's an example. Give another.
Ooh, just catching someone like in a lie,
Mm-hmm.
and them using the excuse of a different lie, a malicious lie, you know. That right there is, it's kind of like a Medea F with me, I F with you back type thing. I justify anger with anger.
You're a work in progress.
I am.
So, any of us can justify any of the things that we feel or do. However, it's a dangerous road to try to say that these things are justified.
Right.
It's better just to cut it off and not to allow justifiable anger be a part of your life. Because Lord knows when I was drinking and drugging, I justified my anger with everything.
God, I did too.
Like everything. Oh, I did this because you did that. I did this because you did that. And, you know, and it didn't matter. You breathed wrong. You talked to me bad. You didn't make up the bed.
You are the problem.
And I am the victim always. And that's where I see justifiable anger.
If you had to live my life and live what I go through, you'd be an alcoholic too.
That's right. That's right.
You know, I've said that, God, countless times. And blaming somebody else.
Yep, you just become the victim at that point. These are emotional dry benders that lead straight back to where we came from. So the minute we start justifying and the minute we don't do anything and work these steps and work these inventories and fix the stuff and amend ourselves, we are on a dry drunk and we are right back to where we started. And some of us end up using or drinking again.
Yep.
That's why these steps are here. They're to keep us sober. Jealousy, envy, self pride, and anger are all things that we can't have those things. We got to work them out of our lives, because if not, they lead us back to our old lives. You can do a quick inventory, and that's the daily ups and downs. So, all you need is the willingness to forgive and the willingness to admit your fault. So, once again, forgiveness does not mean rest. It does not mean that we fix it and that everything's back to normal. If you slap me in the face, I'm not going to give you a chance to do that again. I can forgive you for that, but I don't have to get within arm's distance of you.
Sure.
I can forgive you for my own self and know that I'm okay with it, but it doesn't mean I have to allow it. We also have to have the willingness to admit also when I slapped her in the face too. You know, I probably deserved that slap back. That was my fault. I started that shit. Without those two major things, you can't work this step. Do not get discouraged when you fall back into your old ways. Pull yourself back up and remember, this is progress, not perfection.
Again, still working on. I'm still working on a lot of it. You know,
it doesn't happen overnight.
I'm a lot better than what I used to be.
Oh, I agree wholeheartedly.
You know,
Bonquisha only comes out every now and then.
Yeah, I do have that, but I mean, I'm doing really good at like woosah, woosah. You know, a lot of times.
I've really got to work on it. There are certain parts of these steps that I just am easy peasy. I'm sure like everybody else, and then there's parts of these things that I'm just not so great at. And my biggest problem is I let things emotionally get a hold of me. Yeah. And that's when I act out, is in emotion. And that's why I numb them things out, because I didn't like to deal with them. My emotions are strong. My anger is strong. My love is strong. My hate is strong. My everything. So that goes to say too that we need to stay fair-minded and tolerant of any of these individuals that we're dealing with. That helps with some of our resentments and some of our steps too. If we can stay fair-minded and deal with people with love and tolerance. Nothing pays off like the restraint of tongue and pen. So if you restrain yourself from saying or texting or writing or smoke signaling anything bad, you might not have a problem. Just if you have something bad to say, just don't damn say it. Don't say it. Text it. Write it. Smoke signal it. Put it on a birthday cake. Nothing. Keep it to your damn self. Bonquisha. All right. We have to work on the root of self-resentment as well, because again, we can be pretty angry at ourselves. I'm still pretty angry at myself for a couple of things, and I've been working on those as well. I have to remind myself that part of me no longer exists. You know, it's been gone for a long time, and it's just me that holds on to it. It's step 3, which is where I'm at, is letting go and letting God. So maybe that's what I should do. It's hard though, you know? It's so hard to sit back and look at yourself up and down, all the things you've done, all the resentments you have, and not only look at them, but change them all. That's a tall damn order.
Yeah.
But you don't have to do it all at once. You can take small bites out at a time. Check yourself and remember that you are sober today, one day at a time. And none of us are any better than the other one. Kathy, what time did you wake up this morning? Oh, that's right, I called you.
I was going to say, what time did you call?
I was up 2 minutes before you were. My alarm clock went off, and it took me 2 tries to get you to wake up. So we have the same amount of time today.
Yeah.
We are not God, and any success we may have is really His success. It's not ours.
That's right.
It really has nothing to do in the world with me. I'm only here by His grace and His mercy and His love, and I have nothing to say that I brought myself here. A God of my understanding has clothed me, dressed me, fed me, sheltered me, and made all of this possible. I do this all for His glory and not for mine.
Amen.
Boom! Look at them apples. All people, including ourselves, are emotionally ill and frequently wrong.
Not us.
Uh-huh.
No.
We are all very, very human. All of us. There is nobody on this planet that is not mentally ill and not frequently wrong. Maybe one or two, and they're like an oddball. They're an oddity. Once again, we must be tolerant and loving. We need to realize that we are all suffering here, that every person here has some sort of suffering, of some kind, and to be kind to each other, because
you never know what the other person's
you
going through.
never know. And that's hard to do too when somebody's being a jerk, and then you come along and they're a jerk to you, and you're like, well, F them. But all of this comes with time and practice.
Whenever I used to drive a camera car, like as a side hustle, years and years ago, Trevor was a kid, like a small kid, and he used to like to go ride with me. And he never understood why, like, whenever I was driving, I'd wave at people. And he's like, do you know them? I was like, no. And he's like, why are you waving at them? I said, because maybe they're having a bad day and they just need somebody to wave at them. And, he still remembers that.
That's sweet, Kathy. I like that. I like that story. That's sweet. We got to stop making unreasonable demands of the people we love. Y'all, nobody's going to forgive us for the crazy shit we put them through in like 10 minutes. It's not going to happen. They're not here to make our lives go round. We are. And our God of our understanding. So don't be unreasonable with the people that you love. Whenever we fail, we must promptly admit it to ourselves and to the person we wronged. So just like Kathy, one text came through and immediately another one. Hey, I lied to y'all. And sometimes it may not be applicable. And, there are those that maybe you shouldn't tell, like the living amends or, but those are all things that you go through with your sponsor. If you have a question, ask somebody. This is all the recipe for harmony. Life will ebb and flow at that point. And hopefully some of the things, situations, and people and places that you're dealing with start not to bother you so bad. And they start to not be such a big deal, and you're dealing with life, and you're a normal citizen today, and you're working class, and you're doing these things, and working on yourself, and for no one other than yourself, and it can be very beneficial.
And exhausting.
Yes, it is exhausting, for sure. But it's rewarding,
Oh, hell yeah.
It's worth every single amends I made. It's worth it. The rewards are not of this world, and they are beautiful and amazing, humbling, and spiritual in nature, and something that I would never return. Pain is also the touchstone for all spiritual progress. So pain makes a lot of people pray and brings them closer to God. Pain, whether it be physical, mental, spiritual, emotional, social, sexual, spiritual, all those things, it's there so that we have time to lean on our higher power. And if we always had good in our life, we wouldn't know we wouldn't know what bad was. We wouldn't know that good was so good. got to have those ups and downs and those valleys and mountains in order to respect, love, and need those good times. Examine your motives in each act or thought. Tell them how you do that, Kathy, because that's a big one that I teach y'all.
Yeah, I'm still having a hard time with that one. I'm having a real hard time with that one. I'm still trying to
give a small instance of something that wouldn't be incriminating. If you can give them an explanation.
I really can't.
You can't? Let me think. Okay. So when you're checking your motives, like let's say that I go take somebody a cake at work. And why did I do that? Okay. Did I do that because I wanted them to like me? Did I do that because I wanted people to see, oh, Jessica's so cool because she bought him a cake? Did I do that truly just because I cared? You know, what were my motives? Why did I do this? It helps you understand how you think. And once you see that, you quit buying your own bullshit at that point. And motives are very important. And when you start to see that some of your motives are selfish and unreasonable, and that's when you have to remove those motives and remove those things. If you're doing, all motive goes back to self, y'all. I don't care who you are. Even if your children die, you couldn't live with yourself. You know, so like taking care of your kids comes down to selfishness. It's all self. But then there's the good self, which is like helping out a homeless person without anybody watching and not posting it on Facebook because you just wanted to help somebody. You still did it to feel good. You still did it for that blessing, but it's not, you didn't do it for recognition. You didn't do it for anything else.
That.
Yeah, that's the worst thing in the world.
God. Somebody sitting there handed someone a $20 bill and taking a picture. I'm like, really?
Well, I mean, it says in the other big book that they will get that would be their reward. You know, you should never boast about things you do for people who have less than. Let's see. So what we have to do is we have to look at all these things and we have to ask God's help to learn from all of this. You know, once we do our inventory at night, we'd say, God, help me learn from these things, or doorknob, or whatever it is you pray to, and try to carry those lessons to the next day and the next week and the next month and the next year. So once you learn these lessons, you shouldn't have to deal with them again. And I'm not saying that you're going to run out of lessons. You never will.
Oh, never.
But one less off your plate is always good. One less off your plate. And I believe you'll get, my hope and prayer is that one day we will get to a point to where these are few and far between. You know, it'll never be perfect. You will never not have something to fix or something to change because you are a work in progress daily. You are your biggest, most beautiful masterpiece. You are. And you will never finish it, you know, and just know that the masterpiece that you are all making is going to be beautiful and it's going to be unique and it's going to be yours. And you get in what you put out 100% every day, all day. And if you put in 100% of trying to fix it, even if it's not perfect, guess what you get back? 100%. Yeah. And I mean, look, none of us are perfect. None of us go to bed every night and say, thank you, Jesus, I was perfect. I didn't have to do anything wrong today. And well, okay, thank you. Bless me perfect. Good night. There is none of that. Even when I don't feel that I owe an amends or that I did anything wrong, I still want to find something that I can learn from my day. Still. And Lord knows I haven't really had one of those days because I've always got something to learn and I've always got something going on. But that's what makes life interesting.
And you know, a lot of times and I'll do this because if someone's here spending the night and they, you know, I'm up talking to them and I just pass out, that's about majority of the time whenever it happens is just forgetting because, you know, talking. But I'll forget to do my daily inventory. And whenever I wake up in the morning and I'm like, God, I forgot to do it, you know, it'll hit me. So I'll go ahead right then and go ahead and clean up. You know, like walking around and doing my cleanup.
You know, it's funny. It's funny that you say that. You know, God always finds a way to make things happen. You know, everybody talks about doing their daily, sitting there drinking their coffee and praying and doing their daily stuff, and you know, having time to do their meditations. And I just never had that time. And Lord knows I wasn't waking up early for it. And so God decided that Scarlett gets on the bus at 6:30 in the morning and Kennedy doesn't go to school till 9. So I do my inventory then. I do my meditations in the morning then. And then I got to where I went back to sleep until there's somebody I have to call every morning at 7:30. So guess what? I end up doing my stuff every morning anyways. God's got a way of making things happen.
By the way, I don't need a call anymore.
You don't?
Mm-mm.
We'll talk later. Thank you. I can sleep again. So, anywho, back to what we were saying before. None of this is perfect, and if you skip a night because you forgot or you were too tired, do try to get it the next morning. And if you don't, we are imperfect people. Just don't get out of the habit of doing it. And if you walk through it through the day, spot checking yourself at night, it shouldn't be too much.
Yeah. I spot check it. I try to, like, immediately.
Yeah, as you go along.
I'll sit there and think about something and say, man, that just didn't come out. That just don't make sense, you know. And I'll spot check myself in a minute. But some of them, it's like, ooh, you know, let me let that simmer for a minute. You know, let me figure that out. But just like today, there was nothing. It was just me just saying, hey guys, you know, I lied. But something heavy, yeah, I definitely wouldn't just instantly do a spot check.
I guess it would depend on the situation.
Yeah, I would go back and speak to my sponsor.
But what if we treated all of them like they were like that instead of worrying about them like they are something huge? You know, I'm not saying that every one of them applies, but like, you know, something that you may feel is big, somebody else might not feel as big, and treating it like it's not as big as it is and just going ahead and taking care of it. Like, I try to do that. You know, if I, like, let's say that I hurt somebody's feelings by something I said, and it wasn't my intention. I might not immediately say something. I would sit on it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if I immediately turned around and said, hey, I'm sorry, that's not what I meant, things could get cleared up a lot sooner than waiting a week to go tell this person, hey, look, I didn't mean what I said. Doing it immediately usually would be a better move. And that's what I mean by, you know, bigger things you can treat as smaller things. Now, huge things, absolutely talk to your sponsor. Hopefully we don't have huge things. Hopefully we've moved past some of that. I mean, things do happen. We are human beings and we are imperfect. But I do know that God is perfect and that relying on Him is going to make your walk perfect in His eyes. As long as you stick with Him and you do what these steps say, and you stick with your sponsor, and you go to meetings, and you practice your principles. What's the principle of this one? Do you know?
I do not.
We haven't even been going through the principles, but this one is, what is this one? Brotherly love, maybe?
Let's see. Which one is that? No, that's traditions. You'll have to look it up on the phone.
Where'd it go? I'm all sitting on it. Let's see what the principle behind this step is. Y'all can't have my code. I know what it is, though. Okay. AA principles. So 12 steps. No, I wouldn't look what I was looking for.
Go to the Everything AA app.
Is it on there?
Yes.
Oh my goodness. I gotta get my stuff together and figure that out. Okay, so we're done here. So let's cancel. Let's go back.
Now go to Read the literature. Okay.
Principles are on here.
It should be.
Armed services.
It'd be way on up here.
The principles. Preamble. 12 steps, 12 tradition, how it works just for today. 9-step promises on awakening. Road.
Okay, go back.
Go back. But we're all learning this together.
Okay, let's see. Oh. Okay. Nope.
I'm gonna look it up. Okay, let's do this again. So, AA principles. All right. So, step 10 is perseverance. So, we gotta persevere through this, and perseverance is it. Last week, step 8 and 9 were brotherly love and discipline. These principles are pretty cool. So when we say work at our principles, each step has a principle. So like honesty, hope, action, courage, integrity. And if we stay in these principles in all of our affairs, we should be working pretty close to perfect in your God's will, you know, and should not run into many problems if you stay in your principles. Then they're really cool. So you got honesty, hope, surrender, courage, integrity, willingness, humility, love, responsibility, discipline, awareness, spiritual awareness, and service is 12.
Let's see. Yeah.
We may want to post these on our thing.
We will.
So, anything else you want to cover? Or you feel good?
I feel great. Besides my back. Let's get Haley's stuff.
Oh, yes. We got. Oh, goodness gracious! Sorry, I didn't mean to break the house.
Oh, I'm just glad it wasn't this $2,000 phone.
No, we're good. So, we are going to talk about this symposium coming and this nice backyard beast 1200 that we're giving away. If you want to scan this QR code, it's on our page. And get you a couple of tickets for this. They're giving it away at the symposium. Symposium is June 13th. Is that right? Am I right?
Yes.
Okay, it is run by Heart of Newton. And basically what it is that they're hoping to ensure that hope exists and recovery thrives through connection of multiple pathways, education, and advocacy. And they're hoping to bring a RCO, Recovery Community Organization, to Newton County through this symposium. It is going to be something done by the community for the community, and everybody, they got a planning that is happening on the 30th at
April 30th,
7:00, right?
I'm not sure. You will have to hit Haley up.
We'll post about it so y'all know, okay? And I highly recommend if you're interested in this to show up, and you know it's all planned by you and done by you. It's free. It's a free event for the community, and Kathy and I will be there. I will be on a panel answering questions, and y'all can also come by and see us, give us a high five. We got a little game going. We're gonna have a good time. So please come, and like Kathy says, we can't move mountains alone. You know, we need y'all.
Right.
We need your help to do this. So let's bring a RCO to Newton County so we can help with public education and all sorts of peer-based services for families, friends, kids, parents, and embracing all pathways of recovery, just like Kathy and I do. You know, there's not just one way to do this. There are many ways to recover, and we respect and love each and every one of them.
That's right. As long as you go to bed sober and you wake up sober,
and you're loving everybody, including yourself.
You're saying, God, let me have 24 hours to just let me have today. It's a one day at a time.
And when He gives it to you, thank Him for it, y'all. That's the big point. So we have some help lines, and they are 1-800-662-HELP, 1-800-662-4357. findtreatment.gov. That is a website for 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. They help you even if you don't have money. No excuse.
Yep.
Kratom Helpline is 866-210-1303. We all knew the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline is 988. I get tripped up on that every time. And we have a CARES warm line. So these are peer people who have gone through what you go through and have lived experience. You can call them at 8:30 a.m. to 11 p.m. at 1-844-362-5400. And if you're interested in the symposium,
Or just she's just added as general. She's
she's available for all sorts of stuff. She's the person that is trying to get this RCO here. It's the Heart of Newton. The number is 470-345-6394. I highly recommend y'all come and support that because it is a awesome cause.
All right.
Well, if nobody has told y'all today that we love you, we do.
Let's close out.
Let's pray. You coming? You getting up here?
Little girl.
She said, "Oh, heck no."
Not today.
All right. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things that I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Lord,
Amen.
that wisdom to know the darn difference. Okay. Y'all have a good week. We'll see y'all next week.
Yes, come here, Pipey.
If I get it to stop, that'd be pretty.